Welcome to the Explainer. So, if you've ever found yourself completely freezing up in social situations or just doubting your own abilities, I am willing to bet you've heard this old, tired piece of advice. Just fake it till you make it, right? It's literally everywhere. But let's just be completely honest with ourselves right out of the gate today. That doesn't actually work long term, does it?
I mean, seriously, are you tired of faking it? Because I know I am. The real problem with trying to fake it till you make it is that, yeah, sure, it might get you some super quick, temporary results, but you simply cannot keep it up forever. Pretending to be someone you aren't, pretending to have this unwavering self-assurance that you just don't actually feel inside is completely, absolutely draining.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here's our roadmap for today's Explainer. We're going to cover the exhaustion of faking it, mapping the confidence scale, the origins of insecurity, Method 1, which is mental reprogramming, and finally, Method 2, doing the impossible. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the exhaustion of faking it, running on empty. I want you to really think about your daily life and your internal fakeness battery, because for most of us, it's already running on completely empty. Just think about how much we fake on a daily basis without even realizing it. We pretend to be super excited about things we absolutely do not care about, or we pretend not to care about things we actually are excited about. You know the drill, staring intensely at the weather app on your phone just to avoid making awkward eye contact with someone in the hallway, or pretending to thoughtfully check your calendar to see if you're free, even when you know full well that calendar is completely empty. And hey, let's be real here. Some days, we even pretend we've showered. Don't lie, we all know it happens. We're already lugging around this massive, heavy list of personality traits and behaviors we feel we have to fake just to survive the day. So trying to slap unwavering confidence on top of all that, it's basically just asking for a total system crash.
So, here is the absolutely crucial point to take away from this. It is actually easier to genuinely become confident than to fake yet another personality trait. Luckily for us, the psychological patch to fix this insecurity glitch hasn't been patched out of human nature yet. It's highly effective, and most importantly, it takes way less energy than continuing this exhausting charade.
Moving right along to Section 2, mapping the confidence scale. Where do you sit? So we need to visually pinpoint exactly where we currently sit emotionally before we can start trying to change it. Now, on one end of the spectrum, you've got extreme fear, crippling self-doubt and paralyzing insecurity. And all the way over on the exact opposite side, we have blind overconfidence, arrogance, and just pure entitlement. Now, obviously, you don't want to be on either extreme. And just to be super clear here, having a little bit of self-doubt isn't always the worst thing in the world, right? It keeps you grounded, it helps you avoid making unnecessary enemies, and it lets you make safe, calculated decisions. But generally speaking, society strongly rewards people who move higher up toward the confidence side of this scale. It rewards the folks who are willing to take risks, who can move fast, and who aren't constantly paralyzed by the fear of messing up.
Which brings us to Section 3, the origins of insecurity, the life cycle of self-esteem.
But how exactly did we end up stuck down on the lower end of that scale in the first place? Well, insecurity is definitely not innate. When you were born, you started off incredibly high on the confidence scale. You had absolutely zero reason to be insecure about anything. Honestly, even if you were an objectively ugly baby, you wouldn't have known it, right? You were just living your best life. But then, childhood happens. You go out into the world and you start receiving negative external feedback. People run away from you, they give you weird looks, they make fun of you, or they just bluntly tell you that you're bad at something. You experience public failures and those devastatingly embarrassing moments. And over the years, all of this negative data slowly builds up, pushing you further and further down the scale until you hit adulthood, where you fully internalize these negative beliefs as hard, undeniable facts.
And that's when you start repeating a very specific set of internal scripts. Things like, I can't be attractive, or I can't be funny, I can't code, I can't do a pull-up, I can't make friends. And what happens next is the formation of a vicious, self-fulfilling feedback loop. Just think about the mechanics of this for a second. If you firmly believe that no one likes you, well, you're not going to try to talk to anyone. And because you don't talk to anyone, nobody talks to you. Your brain then looks at that isolation and says, aha, see, no one talked to us today. I totally told you no one likes you. It's crazy, but the more you think these negative thoughts, the more true your actions actually make them become.
So let's fix it. Section 4, Method 1, mental reprogramming, hacking the machine.
The good news is we are not stuck in that loop. We're going to lean into some coding and machine metaphors here, which I absolutely love for logically minded folks who want a really systematic way out of this trap. We are talking about a fascinating concept called psycho-cybernetics. Now, this is a 65-year-old theory developed by a guy named Maxwell Maltz. It basically states that the human mind acts exactly like a machine, striving to maintain its programmed negative self-image. So if you were programmed with all that negative feedback during your childhood, your mind works overtime, just like a rigid algorithm, to keep it exactly that way. It literally actively searches your daily life for evidence just to prove your deepest insecurities right.
Let's look at a stunning real-world example of this in action. Interestingly enough, Maxwell Maltz was actually a cosmetic surgeon, and he started noticing this stark contrast in the patients he was treating. Take person A. They have a recognizably big nose, but they simply don't care, right? They just navigate life as a highly successful, outgoing individual. Then you have person B. They have the exact same size big nose, but they obsess over it. They believe it makes them entirely unlovable, and they use it as an excuse to completely withdraw from life. The objective physical trait, the big nose, is not the actual problem here. The real problem is the subjective, internal processing. Person B holds this core programmatic belief that I can't be attractive, and their mental machine is simply using the nose as convenient, surface-level evidence to support that completely flawed theory.
So let's see how this builds into a practical, step-by-step strategy to literally hack the machine. Step 1. You have to identify the core negative belief. Step 2. Delete the bad reasoning. You really need to look critically at your quote-unquote evidence. I mean, did your profound belief that you were entirely unlovable come from a single time in second grade when some kid insulted you? Delete it. That kid was 7 years old and you were 7 years old. That is terrible, completely corrupted data to base your entire life on. And step 3, vividly visualize success. By painting a vivid, repetitive picture in your mind of yourself successfully doing the thing you fear, you literally confuse your brain into believing it has already achieved it. Once your brain believes it's possible, you'll actually start trying. And when you try, you make real progress, which then provides brand new, positive evidence that overwrites the old code.
All right, moving to Section 5. Method 2. Do the impossible. The action approach.
Now, if visualizing feels a little too abstract, or maybe a bit too passive for you, this next approach, which comes from Dr. K, is for those of you who want a highly practical, aggressive way to build confidence. I want you to think of things that are technically possible for you to do, but that your insecure brain insists are completely impossible because of past failures. Maybe it's waking up at 4:30 a.m. It is technically possible, but your brain screams, "No way, I'll be way too tired, I'll just go back to sleep, I have zero willpower." Or maybe it's running 6 miles. Technically possible, but your brain says, "I always chicken out, the most I've literally ever done is 4. Or maybe it's talking to 5 completely new people today. Very possible, right? But your brain says, "I can't, I'm just going to stand around awkwardly and then go straight home."
The strategy here is wonderfully direct. Prove your brain wrong by scheduling and actually doing the impossible. You have to literally force yourself to complete these specific tasks. By actually doing the very things your mind swore you couldn't do, you are actively building a tangible, undeniable track record of conquering the impossible. So, the next time you face a situation that triggers your social anxiety and your brain defaults to telling you it's impossible, you can confidently look back at your brand new track record and say, actually, scratch that, I have done plenty of impossible things before. I can absolutely handle this too.
Which brings us to the end of our explainer. I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to chew on. What impossible thing will you prove you can do today? I challenge you to step away from the screen right now, break your insecurity loop, and start actively reprogramming your reality. You've got the tools, now it is time to build the track record.